Now, for more on this, we can speak with Michael Kugelman from the Woodrow Wilson International Centers for Scholars. Thank you for joining us here on the program. First, I'd like to ask you for your opinion. What do you make of the size of this bombing and its timing?
Well, yeah, the size is completely extraordinary, and it seems to be somewhat disproportionate to what the needs were on the ground, given that just earlier this week, U.S. and Afghan forces had been conducting operations against ISIS fighters in this very area where the bomb was dropped. So there really wasn't that much to go after, so to speak. So I think that we have to worry about that factor. As for the timing, clearly I think there was an effort to signal to certain countries far beyond Afghanistan what the potential is for the U.S. to use withering force if it feels the need to do so. And I think that the intended audiences were in Syria or in North Korea, and perhaps even in Iran. And I think another factor is that there's a big meeting taking place between the Russians and the Chinese, the Pakistanis, and a number of other countries, but not the U.S., about Afghanistan, to discuss peace prospects in Afghanistan. So I think the U.S. may have wanted to send a message that it still has the ability and the desire to try to fight this war in Afghanistan militarily, despite efforts by others to try to spearhead some type of reconciliation process.
But if you mentioned, you say that the size or the scale of this bombing, that it's disproportionate given the actual target. Do you expect there to be negative fallout from that in terms of any blowback?
Well, I guess the good thing, the silver lining, is this seems to have been in a very remote region of Afghanistan. So I think we hopefully will not have to worry about civilian casualties. The Afghan government, as I understand it, was very much behind this attack, and in fact has expressed support for it, because Afghanistan does worry about the rising threat of ISIS in Afghanistan. But I think just the optics of what happened, the U.S. using this incredibly large, destructive form of warfare in a country like Afghanistan that's been scarred by war for so long, that's going to be hard to overcome. And I think it will certainly not do much to improve the rather troubled reputation and image that the Trump administration has itself in when it comes to global opinion of this administration.
What does this say about Trump's relationship with the U.S. military and generals that are serving him? Of course, we've got this attack in Afghanistan and last week's attack on an air base in Syria.
Well, I think from the start it was pretty clear that Trump was going to be much more willing to listen to the views of his generals in the field than was President Obama. I think that it's clear for some time that the U.S. military in Afghanistan has wanted more firepower, has wanted more troops in the country, and I think that Trump clearly respects the generals, and I think that he wants to do everything he can to make sure that they're getting what they would like in the country, which quite frankly, in my view, could entail an announcement sooner rather than later that the U.S. will be sending several thousand more troops, non-combat troops, to Afghanistan, which is something that U.S. generals in the field and also retired U.S. generals now in the administration have been wanting for years.
Michael Kugelman, thank you very much for joining us here. We do appreciate it.